Ni hao, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today I would like to discuss Cardano and, of course, Bitcoin currently trading at 8,352 thereabouts. And I would like to start this video off by saying I'm expecting a very big move to happen very soon with Bitcoin. Of course, many people have cited that the $7,000 range for Bitcoin is strong resistance, and I'm inclined to agree with this. In fact, in part due to the fact that many people are waiting to buy at 7,000, but of course, we're really starting to see the crypto space split right down the middle, and this will be very interesting to see how this continues to play itself out. We're actually going to either see Bitcoin move towards probably a historical high or another historical low period. And I would say that a very determining factor is going to be the halving, and I'm expecting a supply shock, and when that finally does occur, we can expect the price to go up from there. And those of us who are waiting on the sidelines hoping to accumulate something along the lines of perhaps a $3,000 Bitcoin again, maybe we'll have our wish granted before we finally see Bitcoin reaching the $10,000 range. Of course, nobody really knows. We still could actually see us break towards the upside, and there's plenty of people in that school of thought as well. I'm not going to come out here and try and convince you either way. I'm going to just tell you my perspective, my own analysis, and I plan to essentially crush this market and get this crypto. So this quote right here: if Bitcoin is expected to, of course, traders as a risk-off trade or a safe haven asset as a narrative in 2020-21, Bitcoin may undergo a super cycle. Major user metrics around the protocol are based on market boom or bust cycles, but in a super cycle, Bitcoin may move from 20 to 40 million users in a billion or a half a billion users. And this would be very interesting, and I think it would be pretty exciting as well for those of us who are just hodling and, of course, just waiting on the edge of our seats to see where these things are going to go. Now, of course, I also would like to use this as sort of a transitional point to make that I think is very important to emphasize on when we're discussing Cardano, when we're discussing smart contracts, when we're discussing the sort of scientific approach that Cardano has chosen to take, and of course the academic credentials that Cardano has already established for itself. Now, of course, I would just reiterate, I don't see Cardano as an altcoin. I see it in a category it's all its own. I even see it in a category separate from Bitcoin itself. I see Cardano as a glimpse into the future, almost a crystal ball sort of project that can give us an idea of what is fully possible when the team takes their time and has just straightforward vision on what the future is going to look like. And I think that sort of model is what's going to pay off, and that's what's going to set a standard. That's what's going to set a very major protocol, which I would believe is going to be very interesting in the long run. Now, Alipay customers cannot use US for crypto payments. This is pretty interesting. There's been a serious confusion as of late, given that Binance, the largest and most popular cryptocurrency exchange by market cap, has allegedly joined hands with Alipay. When a Twitter user asked if Binance would allow fiat to crypto transactions through Alipay, the person was responded to with a yes, unfortunately. Just a short time later, Alipay got in a mix and issued a no to the user, saying that digital currency transactions would not be allowed on its platform. So a bit of inconsistency there, and it was bringing up a few other, various different talking points that people wanted to address. So I figured that I just put that information out there into the pipeline. You guys can hash it out in the comment section. Of course, UK real estate firm accepts Bitcoin for sale of 150-year-old church. More and more we've been seeing the Mavericks or what have you, various different big names now opening up their doors to Bitcoin, regardless of what Mark Cuban says about cryptocurrency, whether he wants to buy bananas or Bitcoin. I don't think that he needs to be transparent with us, and he knows that as well. He knows that what he says with one corner of his mouth and what he does with his business side of his mouth, well, let's not get into what he does with that. Anyways, it is interesting to see, however, just how a lot of these different dynamics have been raring up to go. And of course, Ripple, Coinbase, Invest in Mexico's biggest crypto exchange, Bitsko. I think that a lot of these different major parts of the world, in particular developing parts of the world, are really the ones that stand to gain the most when it comes to the overall paradigm shift that's expected to be under really getting ramped up, in particular with the introduction of a lot of these different technologies that blockchain really can open up the door for. We see now Cardano being talked about in the same circle as those who would be interested in preventing counterfeit of designer products from shoes and all these other things, which is really a very, very new idea on a very old concept. And I would say that it's one that I'm certainly keeping an eye out for. And I think that the fact that Cardano has established themselves in such a way as to be first in line when these things start rearing up and gearing up to go, well, that's a sign of the bulls, ladies and gentlemen. That's a sign of a major paradigm shift, the likes of which the space really has not seen before. And recently Cardano team reveals details about the incentivized testnet that will bring staking to the network. This is also very bullish news and exciting as well. So it goes on to say, in a live AMA session led Cardano senior product manager David Desser, the company's team revealed the current state and plans for the launch of the Shelley incentivized testnet. Ambitious research-oriented blockchain Cardano celebrated its second birthday this month, the 2 years of extensive research culminating in the launch of the testnet for a new era of developing Shelley, and several members of Cardano team held an AMA on October 10th to discuss the current state of the testnet and reveal more details about what is going to be brought to the user base. And I think that this is exciting not only for the Cardano community, but it should be a beacon of hope, I think, for the entire crypto space. I think that people get too wrapped up in the moment-to-moment dollar movements of any particular crypto, almost as if it's like gambling, and they fail to think about it in the context of what it really is, a futuristic sort of technology that the likes of which is going to have vast implications no matter what your occupation is in the future, which is why I'm happy to make these videos for everybody, and really break these things down for the average Joe, and of course people out there who are way smarter than me, and open myself up for these discussions, just because the fact of the matter is that this is something that's going to affect you no matter what walk of life you're on. And the fact of the matter is, it's one of the probably most historical wealth building opportunities that's represented by the digital age, often referred to as a second birth of the internet, which is of course why it's often crypto in general is often compared to as like a .com bubble sort of thing, because many of the altcoins I will expect to go to zero in that same sentence. So Bitcoin dominance now at 66.4%, very much down from we were seeing it up in the 70s, the early 70%. It was sort of still crazy to imagine that 66% the entire space dominated by Bitcoin, but that's all for now. Of course, remember this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, remember, now I'm not your financial advisor. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only, yada, yada, I'm not your dad. So remember, go and do your own research on these things. But I am very bullish on Cardano long term. Very much excited to continue to make these daily content for you. So make sure that you guys subscribe, and of course, comment down below, letting you know what you think. And always interested interested in hearing what you guys have to say. I think we covered some pretty interesting content in this video, and I'll see you guys next one. Have a good one.